Hello, greetings, Alice. Greetings, Kathleen. Hello, Zena. Cole King, what's going on? Give us a few more minutes for all to join in on our live stream. Hello, Melody, Stephanie, Pamela. So, I'll go ahead and start our proceedings for today while we're all filtering in. I think, see, Mel is doing our distro on some of our other channels, and while she's doing that, I will go ahead and play a selection from the Universal Brothers SoundCloud page. This is a very, very old song, somewhere around 3 to 4 years old, by myself and, of course, A Styles. Big shout out to Miyagi. Haven't seen you in a long time, but of course, you are with us in spirit. The name of this song is Twilight Zone, a little fitting for the nature of the experiences that we are unfolding in this now moment. Thank you all for being here. This is Twilight Zone.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Universal Brothers. Call me back, baby. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Ride with us, man. Touch your heart when I'm there. Yeah. Elevate you, what's up, dog? Taking this shit to the next door. Yeah. Passion juice, we go pure. Shooting lights on my ride with the digger. God's back, better tell them. Ninja, it's time to deliver. Knowledge is keeping me stepping the ambiance. We just have amphibians. You the serious guardians. Back from the ground, get live in the basement. Politics to your face. If you ain't fake, though, just lost. Yeah. Pay the cost to be the boss. Peace king, I'm God. Yeah. Teleporting on my inner core, I'm zoned in. Awakening and I'm waking you, but you telling me that time is money. You would tell me this. When it's time, when it's money. Let go and it's sink it. Let's shed clouds. I know some go, but it's alright. You know, but keep it tight. Let's work life. That's my word life. Let's graduate and evolve. All the questions unsolved. The innovate, the aviator team. Run through the pole. Trust it. Every part of number 13. Yeah. Heart out with that top gone. Candlelit with my crystals on. Close your eyes and take the throne. Time jump with 10 zone. White team, me and top form. Connect the grid like Voltron. All alone. Twilight Zone. Wonderland in that space. Magic can't fit home ground. Mouth calculus, one man, the all that math. Multiply, taught to divide. Track the facts, and some lies. Cool skies, move a mountain with grace and pride. Above the clouds, you can see my smile. The lions bow to the kids. Tigers on my mama. Learn about some Atlanta. Used to hang with Tanner. Never changed food. shells, bag of chips in my listed. Beat boxing ballistic. Ain't mess with nobody, cause it's out here trying to kick it. Yeah. Throwing roses, down flamingo, elixir in my mixes. Sorcerers, we spitting. Got some bitches all in the kitchen. Cooking up some bitter channeling all of heavens. Yeah. Let's do it, them sessions. Time to print or run attack. And I'm telling my exes, y'all. Monkey bars in the left shit. Big bird in my sesame. Boy, I give you that recipe. Extra tricks to a bitch tree. Harry Potter, my block. What's up? Yeah, 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 yeah. So hot out with that top gone. Candle lit with my crystals on. Close your eyes and take the throne. Time jump with Tim's on. White team, we in top form. Connect the grid like Voltron. All alone. Twilight Zone.
So I bid you all great greetings. Thank you so very much once again for joining us here at the Raw Live for our Let's Build. As you can see, right now I'm working on a little dolo. Angel and Amun are in the other room taking care of some other things. However, I feel I can handle for right now and carrying on with our seminar portion. Thank you once again, Melissa, for taking care of our distribution on Galactic Free Press and You Heal and Let's Build and some of our other channels to distribute the information and make it available for those who are open and interested and focused on the healing nature of this divine process. I welcome you all for joining in. Let's see, Richard, yes, I'm aware of your CD. Actually, Amun Ra sent out packages not too long ago, as you might have seen via your wall on other people's pictures and receiving stickers and CDs and some of the other treats that we have here at the Ra to distribute. What happened was he accidentally left your package here at the house. He just came back from Puerto Rico, of course. However, I did speak with him about that. So your packet is already ready with your address and everything on there, and it will be out the door sooner than later. So thank you very much for your patience and your continuous focus. We are here. And of course, today's subject matter is time travel and the nature of that, which is the shifts that we continuously make and the nature of time travel as we know it here in this dimension, and clarifying different aspects of this transportation that is an integrated aspect of our experience. We will get into that talk in just a second. I'm glad you are enjoying your sushi curry. Thank you for joining us. Big up to Mike LaRock, Stacks. Thank you for being here. As always, of course, before we start, it's necessary for us to embrace our grounding exercise so we can connect. Of course, the disclaimer of communication is that through this vehicle, through this platform of expression, we do have sonic transference, lighting coded downloads to offer directly to you and all of you who are open to these sonic communications from who we are, the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light, and who I am as your Commander Ashtar, and presenting this offering of healing and energy expansion within your energy fields. However, the foundation of this transference and communication remains on an energetic level within you, where these communications are not necessarily to express things that you are not already aware of within the heart space. However, to, on a conscious level, to allow for the recognition of what it is that is the nature of this experience here within the illusion as you awaken from the 13,000 year amnesia that the human species has been experiencing for so long. This is the awakening, and the nature of these expressions and communications is for the intent of healing and allowing for this expansion of consciousness to take place in this now moment. So the nature of our grounding in connection with you prior to our talk is to connect with yourself deep within your heart space, where who you are, your angelic guardians join you to allow for the flourishing of the intuitive expressions being offered here to be processed within your being beyond the mental activity that may filter that which is being expressed here from a place of unconditional love and purity. So this is the nature of the disclaimer that is necessary prior to us getting into our exercise. Of course, this exercise is our 60-second meditation, where our intent is to join and connect with you through your ability to be still, release all that has come heretofore energetically, emotionally, the thought patterns that exist. Just allow all to be and let go in this now moment, so we connect from a place of purity. So 60 seconds it is. Allow everything in your environment to be as it is, and place your feet level on the ground and relax, and we will take 60 seconds to breathe in and out and calm the self. Thank you. Take your time. Start to embrace your extremities, your feet, your hands, wiggling your toes a bit. Gently allow your lungs to return to its normal capacity of air intake. And gently open your eyes and return to this now moment, where we are blessed, where we are honored to connect with you in this now moment indeed. From who we are, these spiritual hierarchies, we greet you humbly in communication, where we are joining this vehicle in this now moment for this communication and connecting with you in unison via this vehicle to allow for a clear, concise communication as to the nature of time travel and that which is an aspect of your presence here on planet Earth. We are aware that in communicating that our build today would be on the nature of time travel, there may be a lot of misconceptions as to the nature of today's talk. Only because there is a mental concept amongst the human species as to the nature of time travel. As you will notice, our talk today will be much different than what the expectations may have included or concluded to. With that being said, let's start here. By definition, and we'll start with your contextual definition via the broad spectrum illusion and definition of time travel in English language, along with the address of the concepts based on the linear experience of what humanity and the collective mind perception has recognized time travel is to this point in your awareness. By definition, it is a concept of movement between certain points in time and points in space by a person or object. Movement. And this is not to be confused with teleportation, where we speak of moving from point to point physically in a particular timeline. So in order to even really dive deep into the nature of this subject matter, let us start from the basis of divine truth as to the nature of this reality. Turn up my speaker a bit. So the nature of this reality is this, and this is something that needs to be absorbed so we have a sturdy foundation in which to recognize the nature of our subject matter today. And we speak on the true nature of this hologram that we're experiencing, which is life. This is an infinite, multidimensional universe of infinite impossibilities happening all at the same time, all taking place simultaneously in the eternity that is this now moment. I will say that one more time. There's a lot to process here. However, this is the foundation of the talk we're expanding upon today. What we exist in, the nature of this hologram, the life that we are experiencing in this now moment is this. This is an infinite, multi-dimensional universe of infinite possibilities happening all at the same time, simultaneously, in this now moment, which is eternal. Now, we say this a lot, or we may state pieces of such a statement quite often. They've become coined phrases amongst the awakened community because we speak on the nature of time and space and our reality in this now moment quite often in broken pieces, some aligned and some may be distorted. However, at the basis, there's only this now moment. There's only this now moment being the only true reality there is. And within this now moment, there is eternity. Now, we're this can be quite confusing to the mind identity. So what we'd like to ask you to do is embrace a deep sense of presence where this is not about analysis. This is not about analysis and trying to figure things out. It's more about embracing the frequencies being expressed through this physical vehicle and expressing the nature of this reality. Be here and now. Open your heart and allow for the deep resonance being expressed here to be processed within your being. I digress. There is only this now moment. This now moment is eternity. What you know as the linear experience, the past, present, and future, all are taking place in the eternity of this now moment. Once again, the linear experience that you know as the past, present, and future are all taking place within the eternity of this now moment. And on a deeper level, this means that all of who you are, all of the future yous that there are, all the different versions of this now moment or the linear timeline that is this now moment are taking place. They're available now. This also means that all of what you consider to be the past and that of your past lives are all taking place now within this eternity. They're all available in this now moment. Why? Well, because beyond the illusion of linear time, there is the infinite possibilities of the multiverse all unfolding and taking place in this now moment. That is a bit to wrap the mind around. Well, once again, we're dealing with infinite intelligence and a reality that is beyond the analysis of logic. The different versions of this now moment are all happening right now. The different versions, it's necessary to reiterate because it's quite a bit to process. The different versions of this now moment are all happening in this now moment as well. All of them. What you're experiencing right now, you're consciously experiencing the conscious reality that is in alignment with the frequency or your frequency of being at present. What you're experiencing is the reality that is in alignment with your frequency of being at present. So basically, the version of life that you're experiencing out of the infinite amount of lives or versions of your life that you're experiencing right now is the one that is in alignment with your vibrational frequency right now. So, the multitude of layers. When we say multidimensional, we don't necessarily speak of what we do, but we speak of the all. When we talk about the multitude of realities, there are some radically different from what is being experienced now, and there are some, or quite a few, that are extremely similar or slightly different than what you're experiencing now on all spectrums. There are an infinite number of experiences all taking place right now, some where we are connected and some where we aren't. There are things that you could be doing or decisions that you could have made where you would not be here, but there are decisions that you have made that have allowed our connection to take place in this now moment, all taking place right now. However, consciously, the conscious experience is based on your frequency of being. And these are timelines. The timeline that we are experiencing, or that you are experiencing, we are co-experiencing as a collective, is based on the frequency resonance that we all are vibrating on in this now moment. So this is the resonance that we share now, where we're communicating and viewing and connected visually, sonically through this technological platform based on your frequency of being. So, what is the truth of time travel? And when we say the truth of time travel, we're speaking from a spiritually accurate space of conscious recognition. A seriously accurate space of conscious recognition as far as the nature of time travel is this. The definition of time travel would be the conscious ability to hop from one timeline of experience to another. So let's break that down just a little teeny bit. Time travel is the conscious movement from one particular timeline to another. There are an infinite number of timelines all happening at the same time. However, to decipher, or our choice of experiencing one timeline versus another, is all based on our frequency of being. So the choices that we make as far as our frequency of being is where we actually travel. We spoke about this before when we speak of meditation as a form of conscious meditation as a form of potent interdimensional travel, seeing the light code 1111 in being but a reflection of a angelic or hierarchical code, light code, showing that you have significantly changed your frequency and another reality is available for you. Know that just as the illusion is, if you look at the nature of a movie and the slides or frames, like people into camera work, they know that when you're looking at a screen, the projector is basically moving a line of slides or frames of a scene in a certain amount of time, or in at a certain rate per seconds, where it gives the illusion of movement. They're all still pictures. However, they're moving very fast, where it looks and one may perceive continuity. And all of these frames are moving at their own pace, where it seems as if one reality is going on and is continuous. And these are timelines. Time travel is in our ability to shift our frequency of being inside, where the movie reels, all the movie reels, the infinite amount of realities all taking place at the same time are there. However, our ability to consciously choose the version of the movie we are experiencing in this now moment is based on the decisions that we make. And a lot of the decisions that we make determine the frequency of being that we are experiencing. And this frequency of being is in alignment with the version of the movie reel or the reality that we're viewing on a conscious level. So the mind will, this is a lot, but we're not going to go too deep, but we will express to a certain extent the fullness of this reality. The mind will question, what is with continuity? Continuity being the continuation of a particular timeline. In actuality, continuity is but an illusion, because the timeline is not, or one is not obligated on a conscious level to experience the version of that frame in succession as it is, or as it were. In layman's terms, I may be experiencing one particular reality where I'm making choices and I'm in a quote unquote negative vibration or positive vibration. However, the gateway or choices that are presented next, I have the ability to choose one choice that will vibrate on a higher frequency, and one that may allow me or cause me to vibrate in a lower frequency. Those choices dictate, or that choice before me dictates the nature of what happens next. Why? Because one choice allows me to vibrate higher, experiencing another outcome, and the other choice may cause me to vibrate lower, which causes another outcome. So once again, the continuity is an illusion where there's always a choice in this now moment to experience an infinite number of realities. However, I will digress and say this. Every frequency, every timeline amongst the infinite timelines that are available, there is a past that goes with that timeline and a future that goes with the timeline. However, my conscious experience of that timeline is my choice as the creator within this hologram. But the timelines themselves have solid past and future events. However, once again, my choice as a creator experiencing the past consciously at the center or the source of the reality, I always have the choice to choose which timeline I'm experiencing on a conscious level. In processing this, it's necessary that we realize that it happens constantly, that we're changing realities and experiencing portals of different realities billions of times every day via the choices that we make, the frequencies of being that we embrace, the thought patterns that we choose, all equivalent to a frequency of being. And that frequency of being is reflective in the reality that we're experiencing at present. So basically, all of what you're viewing in this now moment, all around you, how you feel inside, the experiences that are unfolding before you, they're a culmination of the frequencies of being, all influenced by those factors happening in this now moment. This is a culmination of all the frequencies that you embrace and have addressed or recognized to be in this now moment based on where you are. Now, being that said, It's necessary to know that, and you more than likely already sense this intuitively. They say that there is nothing constant in this reality but change. This is where you see that this is true. Change is constant. Nothing stays the same. Why? Well, because our frequency of being is always changing. It's always in motion. Our emotions are always in motion. The thought patterns that we choose to entertain are always in motion. Our actions, the choices that we make, there is only motion. So, and I feel the statement is extremely important. So before I even say it the first time, I will reiterate the nature of the statement. And that statement is, being awakened is about being consciously aware of our trajectory. Being an awakened soul, once again, is about being consciously aware of our. The change is constant. However, we also recognize with change being constant, you're either evolving or remaining stuck in the illusion, which is a downward spiral deeper into the illusion. So you're either going up or you're going down, because there's no stagnation. There's no remaining in the same reality. Even with those who intend to wait for something to take place, the frustration itself in waiting on things to change caters to more frustration causing more suffering catering to the frequency of fear, lower and lower vibrations, which is but a downward spiral deeper into the cycles of physical death. And on the back end, or on the flip side of that, the same applies to higher vibrational frequencies, service, gratitude, abundance. All that comes with a responsible, awakened presence. So I'll say the statement once again: being awakened is about being consciously aware of our trajectory. So, what are we responsible for as incarnates? As God, you're responsible for everything. The foundation, bar none, period. However, as an incarnate body, a mind, body, spirit complex, what are you responsible for? Well, it's necessary for us to look at what we're working with. What we're working with as on a conscious level, as a personality, if you will. What are our tools as far as being consciously aware and responsible for our trajectory? The things that we have to work with, and this has to do with the three spectrums, or four, if you will, four spectrums of the personality complex, mind, body, spirit complex. These are our convictions, or in layman's terms, our beliefs. Our convictions are, and our beliefs are the things that we feel are the truth of our reality at the base. Our emotional decisions, the decisions as far as how we choose to feel about our experiences, when it comes to if we feel that things aren't happening my way, or someone is making me mad or angry, or whatever the case may be, when it comes to dependency, loneliness, boredom, all of these things, are we going to address and embrace these frequencies from a place of maturity, or are we going to attempt to place it outside of ourselves? This is another thing that we have to work with. The thought patterns that we are entertaining. The thought patterns that we are entertaining, of course, thoughts are going to continuously flow through the mind identity, but as an awakened soul, of course, we are aware that we have a choice. We have a choice of which thought patterns to entertain. Of course, those of you that are moving deeper into maturity, spiritual maturity, you recognize that the thought patterns that you continue to entertain, you're giving energy to, which manifests into aspects of your experience, of your reality. So as we become more mature, we become more responsible for entertaining only the thought patterns that resonate with us or are based on our preferences, our preferred experiences, versus the things that we don't want to happen. These are the things that we consciously do and embrace from a place of maturity. And last but not least, one of the things that we have to work with is the actions that we choose. The actions that we choose to participate in and actually manifest in the physical. And a lot of times this is based on all of the tools that came before this aspect, the choices that we make. So what we have to work with as conscious beings, as awakened souls, is our convictions, our belief systems, our emotional decisions, the thought patterns that we choose to entertain, and the actions that we choose to invest energy into. These are the things that we have control of, that we can consciously choose to embrace. These are the tools that we have in which we can manage the nature of our physical, our vibratory state in this now moment based on our toroidal field. And via this management, our ability to recognize and move into a higher vibrational energy field, we'll move deeper and deeper into the realities that fit our preference. Because once again, all that is taking place, all that is available to you, you are alive here in the physical, and because you are alive, you are blessed, and you deserve all the blessings that life has to offer. These blessings are within you, and they're all available to you. However, it is your vibratory frequency of being that allows you to realize these blessings in the physical. It's all based on your vibratory frequency of being. So through a conscious decision to embrace and cultivate a sense of responsibility over your convictions, over your emotional state, the thought patterns that you choose to entertain, and the actions you choose to manifest or embrace or give energy to, you have the ability to consciously time travel, change timelines. And as you move into more graceful, beautiful, abundant, and blessed timelines, it's necessary to realize that in actuality, what you may consider to be the past and the future of this now moment changes because you shift timelines. The timelines themselves have a set past experience and a set future experience, and all the characters within the timeline that you're experiencing changes. All the characters, as far as the nature of the individuals, changes, and truly being a electromagnetic hologram. So as you change your frequency of being, literally your past changes and your future changes, and the nature of what you're experiencing in this now moment changes. So this is a lot to process. However, deep within your heart of hearts, you recognize this to be the nature of this experience. And once again, as awakened souls, you recognize the distractions that are being presented before you in attempting to lower your vibrational frequency. It's your focus. It's your focus and your vibrational frequency of being in this now moment that is responsible for that which you continue to experience. As you make the internal changes, the things that you experience now and the manifestations that continue to unfold before you continue to change. However, it is your frequency of being that changes first. It is your frequency of being that is at the foundation of that which you continue to experience. Now, before we go to break, there has been a history of time travel here on planet Earth. There have been tons and tons of experiments from Montauk, Long Island to various aspects of your linear experience where time travel has been demonstrated quite often. On a physical level, within this timeline, however, of course, these experiences or anomalies, if you will, amongst your conscious linear experience has been but precursors to that which is possible. Hence, for you to recognize the infinite nature of this now moment beyond the illusion of linear time and feeling that what you experience is concrete. There's only change. There is the infinite possibilities that exist now. However, these possibilities are based on what you feel to be the truth of this now moment. If death, destruction, and chaos, suffering is the nature of life to you, this is what you will continue to experience. God, this is what you will continue to experience. And the more you continue to give energy to these images, this distortion that is presented and paraded before your eyes on a daily basis, the more you will continue to experience such illusions. And in actuality, the mind has a way of reinforcing that which the mind feels is the truth. If we feel that death and destruction is the truth and deception is the truth amongst our friends and family and irresponsibility and some of the other distortions of experience is the truth of our reality, then once again, life has a way, or your experience has a way of reinforcing these realities upon you, because this is what you feel to be the truth of your experience. And it's rather self-destructive because, once again, the ego finds fulfillment in this type of suffering and saying, see, I told you, people are crazy, such and such. I told you they would do that. I told you. And there's like a sense of hopelessness. And pleasure in seeing that which one does not prefer coming to fruition. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do now is take a small break for a song. Once again, I'm here at the Raw. Let's see. Me and Mom once again working with myself today. Angel and Amun Ra are here. However, off doing some other things. So I will post a link here shortly in the comment section, the name of this song, title track, Wormholes. Thank you once again, Overseas, for the playlist and your continuous service here for the New Earth. Hey. Salute. We on the ground, no? Yo, calligraphy ink, I spill on the beat. Speak to speech for all to see the ancient methods of read. A recipe for special treats to satisfy all the beings who seek the truth beyond the school that teach my peeps in these streets. Like something's new within me, amongst the eagles, hopping fences and exploring the deep. Creep with me, Booty Matt and Nubis and Stubas, with the homeless homies healing, rocking lapis and rubies. The service is groovy, do what you do, the workers working with the tools, never seen in the movies. Yeah. Yo, Sky.
Yo.
Gold gates, low some flows, xylophone, stereo drums and horns clarion from beyond. Yo, they counsel them call the humans to come home. Put down the domes and cellular phones to keep the frequency of home, liberating your tones. Harmonic sonics like alchemical tonics for you to sip on. OGs on the fleet, give me that when I sleep. Play on some Black Street. They like no diggity, no doubt within your mastery. Yo, within your mastery. Hold up, son, check it. Yo, love, liquid love and blessing out the bubble, vivid, giving lives from television to the angel transmutations to the links will make you pivot. I'm busy grounded brain transmissions. I am the source of every blessed Texas. Now I'm and check the business. Keep it gentle, thanks for sharing. I'm just staring in the mirror, steady giving. Never mind, burning rubble, skirt. Meditation, cause I'm awakened and big and pastries with more insight than the egg of Casey. Baby face, but an ancient beauty on duty. Do the work in every moment, coolly. Yeah. Always more creativity, always more service. They say your expressions and gratitude from the past to the present to the future.
Haters and new friends keep it real one stagnant. Switch later in this material world. All is contagious. Insecurities created. And this is less famous than time. Set it for these hoes. Flip up their lives. See the no control.
Right wormhole like Taco Supreme, being divine heroes. Ice cold, I'm talking sub-zero. Freeze the ground on some shanks, shoulder switch egos. Touch your hearts like I'm laying with Kano. Finish your mob balls, cabal, go hard, but we contain them. Individual enslavement, the Federation. Rep the light, busting out the basement. Like the Moors before you see our ships landing. It's all planning. Interstellar orchestration, skipping comprehension. Energetic activation of internal structures. Gyro cutlass, they acting gutless. The most gangster is the kindest. No reminders, yo. Commander Ashton on the ground. Big up to all my crew. Salute the fleet though. Yeah. Always more OG crews. We doing what it do for the New Earth. Yeah.
bridge between extraterrestrial realities and that of your own daily lives on the surface of Earth, constituting being multidimensional and embracing your own life heritage. As a result of all of the modes of ascension guidance into a generous replacement of all of the self-destructive energies, then comes with the ability to manifest only source creations in oneness. We stand in stable energies. We are the angelic realms. We are the Galactic Council. We are the Galactic Federation of Light.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us here at our Let's Build. Today's talk, of course, remains on the subject matter of time travel. A great experience indeed in this now moment where our vibrational frequency is the foundation of the experience, which is this now moment. Expressed before today on our timeline, in our daily guidance, of course, and who I am as your commander, Ashtar. The transmission was that the past doesn't necessarily dictate the present. So at the end of the day, this now moment is not a product of the past, as expressed before. Continuity is the illusion and feeling that this now moment has anything to do with that has unfolded heretofore. This now moment is solely based on your frequency of being in this now moment. Your frequency of being in this now moment is a culmination of all the frequencies having to do with the convictions that you embrace, the thought patterns that you embrace, and the actions that you embrace in this now moment, where this is a reflection of that frequency of being. Your frequency of being. This is the reality that you're in this now moment, based on that which you are choosing to experience now, that which you are choosing to embrace energetically now. That is the present moment, and not the product of that which is labeled to be the past. It is a culmination of all that is your frequency of being in this now moment. This is what you're viewing, and this is where you are on your spiritual journey. Not to be analyzed or looked at from a logical space of being, to assume, because once again, the logical mind will attempt to look at your experience and judge your experience and feeling that this is reflective of your frequency of being, i.e., or for example, the nature of your environment physically, or the people that you are around. These are not viable indicators of your frequency of being. Just because you're around people that you may feel to be of a particular frequency, or may describe or label as negative, if you will, this is not a reflection of who you are and the vibration that you exist in this now moment. However, they are reflections that you have agreed upon to experience in this now moment for your greater spiritual benefit, based on your intentions, to evolve. So for the most part, a lot of times, these souls exist within your energy field as catalysts, reflections, assistance, guidance, providing you with assistance on many different levels, where the mind is not necessarily in a place to analyze and label an aspect of your existence to be quote unquote good or bad, if you will. However, this now moment is an experience of your own frequency of being as of now. So, being that we've established that time travel is constant and about our frequency of being, I feel that it might be helpful to express some tips as far as things that we can embrace to allow for a leap in our frequency of being. And this is outside of what has been expressed constantly through the transmissions being expressed. Our whole intent in being here as extraterrestrials, and who I am as your commander Ashtar, and speaking amongst the spiritual hierarchies of the Galactic Council, has been to assist you in moving into a high vibrational frequency per free will. And this assistance is via the example expressed through this vehicle. The constant work and creativity that goes into creating the messages and music and platforms of services that are constant. This is the example that is being expressed as the nature of one who exists at the top of the ascension ladder to allow for this pathway of opening for the human species. This is but one of the examples. However, the tips that are being expressed here are always an integrated expression where it is not necessarily about you following anyone. This is about the things that you can do to be proactive in allowing yourself to make these leaps and evolutions. Of course, your grounding practices are constant. Your creativity is constant. Your services are constant. The internal work of being more and more emotionally responsible is constant. Your ability to open your heart, these things are constant, where you're opening your heart more and more on a daily basis. This is an integrated aspect of an evolved lifestyle, an intuitive lifestyle. So outside of these things, which are extremely potent in themselves, there are a few things that one can consciously embrace as we continue to heal, where we're working with some of the attributes of a soul or incarnate still having the faculties of thought processes and, of course, a strong emotional body, if you will. These are the things that we can embrace on a conscious level to allow for the vibrational unfoldment of higher and higher frequencies of being. So, visualization. Understand that visualization is the blueprint. Visualization is the blueprint of such an experience. Now, this is not to be confused with a goal board. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with a goal board. In the linear past of this experience, I've embraced all of these things, pictures of nice houses and cars and experiences and clothing and things that were visually aligned with the reality that I intended to experience, or I intend to experience. I've embraced these things as far as visualization is concerned. However, it's necessary to understand this, and we spoke about this before. It's not about the visualizations itself. It's about a symbolic representation of a frequency of being that you can get excited about. The visualizations are but a fraction of that which you are actually here to experience. I'll repeat that. The visualizations, the objects, or the things that the mind may conceive of that we intend to experience aren't necessarily important. These are a lot of times very superficial in nature, some deep when it comes to emotional experiences and connection with other souls. However, a lot of the visualizations and things that we can conceive of on a conscious level are but fractions of what we're actually here to experience. You're here to experience a joy that is beyond all imagination, all mental conception. There aren't even the colors that you see right now. There aren't the frequency and hues of the experiences that you are here to experience. They don't even have colors for them via the visual sight or the frequency of visual sight that you currently are experiencing. So in actuality, in layman's terms, that which you're actually here to experience, you don't have the visual concept of what that is at present. It's just so beautiful and miraculous that you don't have the ability to even imagine what you're here to experience. However, we're working with what we have, and what's important is the frequency of being that you embrace in this now moment. So in working with what we have at present, we are to embrace the things that bring a sense of excitement, which caters to a frequency of being that is in alignment with this timeline, if you will. The excitement, the joy, the harmony, the sense of peace and love and gratitude for life. This frequency of being is that frequency in which we want to cater to in every way possible within our physical reality, to raise our frequencies, where we are shifting closer and closer and closer to this divine timeline that we're actually here to experience. It's there. You don't necessarily have to you don't have to create it. It's already there. It's already there. What you're wanting to do, what you're intending to do, is consciously experience this reality. And this is brought about by your ability to raise your frequency and getting as close as possible to that frequency of being that is aligned with that particular reality. Visualization is our number one tool. Our number two tool is emotional content. The emotional content is the energy. This is the fuel to the fire, if you will. This is where you're involving all of your senses in the internal experience itself. And the more intense and the more deeply you feel the experience itself, the excitement, the joy, the love, the sense of fulfillment and satisfaction and gratitude, now, not later, but right now, experiencing as much of this emotional content as you possibly can in any given moment as you continue to provide your services and do that which your heart is leading you into doing. The more you experience this most emotional content with deep intensity, the more rapid you're shifting dimensions, the more rapid or the greater the leaps that you're making when it comes to time travel or timeline shifting, if you will. The more intense the vibrational frequencies that you feel now, this particular reality, the more you are aligning with this reality. The emotional content is absolutely important. Being excited about experiencing your liberation after 13,000 years, experiencing a body that is ageless, the return of your vitality, optimal vitality in this physical vehicle, returning to the heavenly realms. The level of excitement in which you embrace this reality now is where you are shifting and making leaps and bounds of evolution in this now moment through your embrace of this emotional content. Third tool, I'm going to call this the grounding of the experience. The grounding of the experience is where you accept these frequencies, these blessings, this reality into your present reality. Grounding the experience. Grounding the experience is about embracing that which you intend on an energetic level in this now moment, and on a physical level in this now moment. Some souls may call this acting. It's not. This is but a conscious recognition of the blessings that you're unfolding to be before you and manifesting or materializing themselves into your physical environment in this now moment, and giving thanks for them in this now moment. This is where you're shifting out of the doubtful realities or lower frequency realities of believing and into the confidence and spiritual maturity of knowing. You know who you are. You know what you're here to experience. You know that it is unfolding before you. However, through your ability to embrace this now and recognize that it is already there now and not later, not tomorrow or some other time, it is there now. Through your conscious recognition of it being there now, as God, the reality has no choice. The illusion has no choice but to acclimate to the frequency vibration that you are radiating in this now moment, where these are your convictions. Now, one may say, okay, so you're telling me to, okay, first, I'm not telling you to do anything. The gentle suggestion is from a higher plane of existence is in you embracing the reality now, before it is there. We go back to the recognition that everything comes from inside. When it changes inside, when you change inside, it manifests itself outside. So unawakened souls with old programming says seeing is believing in its own distorted manner. Of course, we recognize believing to be a distortion. However, we also recognize that everything has its source in the unseen, in an energy, in a frequency. All that is material comes from the non-material. The oak tree comes from the seed and being a manifestation of energy within the seed. Therefore, we must recognize that it is in actuality reverse. The knowing, the conviction within oneself comes before the seeing. Conviction comes before the manifestation. So it is in your ability to recognize that these things are within you and manifesting within your reality or unfolding within your reality now that makes them real. The illusion says otherwise. However, we must recognize that throughout our linear experience here within the human body here on this planet, we have been programmed to feel that until we see something exist or existing or in existence, that it doesn't exist. However, we also at the same time must recognize that humanity has been enslaved for this linear experience, and our ability to manifest things and experience that which we intend for ourselves would be extremely against the interest of those responsible for human enslavement. So this is where it's necessary for us to unlearn what we have learned and letting go of the old programming and recognizing that we are the core source of manifestation itself. This is how divine works. You already have everything you could ever want within you. It's a matter of elevating your frequency of vibration, which makes it visible. Your elevation and frequency of vibration makes that which is within you that you intend, that you have intended for yourself to experience here in this dimension, appear visibly before you. It's there. It's like right before your nose. However, your frequency of vibration doesn't match the frequency of reality that that physical experience itself exists on. So it is necessary for us to increase our vibrational frequency in order to see, feel, touch, taste this reality which is before us, being that it is already ours in this infinite universe of infinite impossibilities that all exist now. I'll say this before closing. The mind is not designed to know how. Because there are many who will say, how do I do it? How do I figure it out? Just tell me what to do. How to do a video, how to do it, how do I, and what we want to do is we want to consciously participate in this manifestation. And this is noble because we're willing to and ready to do the work to physically manifest that which we intend for ourselves. And there are many who will say, oh, I really would love to consciously participate in the chasing of my dreams. In its own distorted manner, once again, noble. However, everything that we intend to experience, the joy, the glory that we intend to experience here, it requires an internal shift in frequency. Not only your vibration, but also your harmonic essence, your harmonic state of being, your frequency of being. It's necessary for us to shift this. And this shift comes with certain experiences to align us with a frequency of being that will allow us to truly enjoy, embrace, and expand upon the gifts that we intend to experience. I'll say that in another way. In order for us to truly experience and to sustain the blessings that we intend to experience, the joys of abundance and freedom and access to unlimited resources and all the things that we intend for ourselves in this dimension, it is necessary for us to operate from a level of maturity that will allow for us to experience this level of abundance without destroying ourselves beyond the destructive patterns. If you gave a person who has suppressed addictions to substances $1 million right now, you recognize how destructive that would be, because there's deep emotional blockages within the body that would be expressed when there's an instant premature access to this amount of resources. This is only one example, a very obvious example. However, as individual souls, we intend for certain things for ourselves that allows us to experience a certain amount of joy and happiness and satisfaction and the life that we intend to experience here. However, there's quite a bit of healing that's necessary for us to have access to that which is already within us now. So we aren't doing it prematurely, where a premature access to that level of abundance or resources or whatever the case may be, if you will, could destroy us or be detrimental or self-destructive. It's necessary for us to rise to a certain level of spiritual maturity to truly embrace and enjoy and thrive upon the blessings that we have access to that are ours. One may say, things aren't happening for me. Things aren't going my way. I don't have what I need. I don't have what I want. It's not happening. One may say this constantly. However, it's necessary to recognize that things are going your way. They are happening for you. They're not happening right now because the higher self knows that the experience that you're experiencing now is necessary first before you experience that which you intend for yourself. The higher self knows that what is happening now is necessary for you to truly experience and embrace before you experience the increase in abundance, the resources, the joy, the loving connection, the relationship that you want. These experiences are necessary first. It is necessary to embrace a frequency of self-love before we experience a twin flame connection or a soulmate connection that we so dream of. It is necessary for you to enjoy being with yourself first. There is no other being that is out there that makes you complete or that will make you happy. It is necessary for you to make yourself happy and truly be satisfied with life before you experience this type of connection. Because if you're attempting to grasp another individual or you're dependent on another individual in your experience to be satisfied or experience a frequency of joy, you're radiating at a frequency of dependency, dependent on the outside illusion to be grateful and satisfied in this now moment, which makes for a, lack of a better term, crappy relationship because you're thirsty. There is no thirst in the garden. It is necessary to embrace oneself, enjoy your solitude, enjoy being alone, love yourself first in this now moment, and allow and accept and express a sense of unconditional love for all reflections in this now moment to allow for this type of connection to occur. So once again, infinite intelligence knows all, and we are graced with the opportunity to experience life in this dimension in this now moment. So with that being said, that is our talk on time travel. A beautiful expression and experience, to say the least. Right now, I'm going to cut to a small break for a song, and I'll go and retrieve Angel and Amun for our group discussion here live at the Ra, and see if we can speak a little teeny bit on the nature of frequency versus time travel, if you will. And then we will get to our last portion, which is basically us embracing the stories and inquiries that you may have shared in our comment section. We truly are appreciative and blessed to have you present. You can be anywhere. You can be anywhere in this now moment. You can be in any reality in this now moment, but you've chosen this one, where in this one, our intention is to see liberation amongst the human species, beyond the debt slavery, beyond the suffering that is taking place worldwide. And this is all possible. This is all possible because of your awakening, the awakening that you are doing right now, the conscious decision to embrace and be more responsible for your emotional presence, the choices that you have made, the thought patterns that you have entertained, and your ability to be of service to all life unconditionally. This is what makes humanity's liberation possible, and you are making that choice in this now moment, in this reality, and we congratulate you. Thank you so very much for being here. I will go to the song appropriately, Skywalker. Post a link on the comment section in just a sec. And we appreciate your presence.
Chill. Kill them all. Multi-dimensional. All planet. Terrestrial, astral. It's the old off-world, baby. Check them out, y'all. Living chapters in my own scripture. Never gripping on attachments, which is bad business. Moving steady through the fog with cosmic clearance. I'm like a feather floating free amongst an open forest. Sweet Christmas, I'm a loving poet, creator of the whole story. Many paths opened up in eternal glory. Took an old palm race, never fades, never be a name. With a dash, with a ship, let it manifest. The birth through a natural process, the metamorphosis. Ranges with the power that be body warfare. Numb with stimulants, similar to morphine. Dream, and honor upstanding, beyond noble standards. We call them Skywalker, cause I stay floating. Cause I stay floating. Looks, cause and honor upstanding, beyond noble standards. They call me Skywalker, cause I stay floating. Always in the moment, momentum overflowing. Built to last like an ancient obelisk. Easter Island monument, lined up with a horizon by the ocean. These energies in motion. Yo, crispy swimming in them feelings, ain't no half stepping. In the building a mansion, in the heavens where we stay balanced. Infinite chilling, more source vibrations, ever expanding superhero blessings. Eyes on my own paper, not the one for cheating. Conscious breathing on my blessings. Essence, rain with the grounding, be your horn blowing. Echo through the words, no one's understood. The light is not for good. Yo, it was understood. Yeah. The light is back for good. Yeah. And on the upstanding, beyond noble standards. They call me Skywalker, cause I stay floating. Yeah. And on the upstanding, beyond noble standards. They call me Skywalker, cause I stay floating. Yeah. Yeah, stay floating. Yeah, universal brothers and sisters. Yeah, always for the new earth. Yeah, salute the fleet. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us once again, ladies and gentlemen, here at our Let's Build. Of course, always live on Thursdays at The Ra. Reporting live from Wiesbaden, Germany, Central European Time. It is 10 p.m. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, here at our Let's Build. And normally, this would be our open forum section of our talk today. However, everybody's gone, and it is just you and I. So, of course, I'm working by myself today, and being that we have a little extra time, about 30 minutes or so for our comment section to address any questions and inquiries that you all may have. I would love for you to express any inquiries that you do have about our talk today. Being that we're going to skip over our open forum session here and speak directly, I am here to entertain any inquiries that you may have. Please, if you will, share them in the comment section at present, and I will get to them in the order that they are received. So, thank you so very much for all your comments and chiming in. I love you all too. Thank you so very much. And what about twin flame loves? Sylvie, Silva, thank you so very much for chiming in. The twin flame love is a reality that does exist. Some have these connections, some don't. Those who resonate deeply with such a connection, more than likely, this is your reality. However, of course, this reality is only manifest via the level of self-love, the level of unconditional self-love you have within yourself. This is the gateway, this is the portal, this is the opening, this is the way to experience a twin flame connection. It is through your unconditional self-love, and that unconditional self-love is cultivated, expanded upon, and developed through your ability to embrace the love that you have within. This is where twin flame love exists. So, of course, we express this quite often. Of course, being very sensitive in nature, those of you starseeds, light workers, indigos, and humans here for the new earth, you have a deep intention for connection. However, it's necessary to realize that the foundation of that connection remains within you as an incarnate of source. You are complete. Everything is within you. Where the more complete you are, the more focused you become in cultivating that sense of completeness, where it's not about focusing on finding another or labeling another within the relationship paradigm as your twin flame, or attempting to place these labels or find a twin flame. It is about you lighting the flame within yourself. And quite naturally, as you release your focus on such realities, such a connection manifests itself rather organically within your reality. So it is about you embracing that within yourself, which allows for such an experience. Nature of these communications have always been about the proactive participation, the proactive experiencing of such connections, the joy and wonder and magical nature of this reality. These communications have always been about that alone, where we're not here to tell you stories. Initial communication, yes, but to constantly talk about realities that you are to experience here would be counterproductive, where there's much healing to do and work to be done inside. This is not story time. This is healing time. And the nature of this guidance is about the practices that are necessary to allow for this healing. So this is where our focus remains. And we intend for you to experience such joy. However, this is only possible through your proactive participation in the process itself, and not in the entertainment of stories and dreaming and intending and wonder of the oohs and ahs of what is supposed to happen. It's necessary to do the work. This is what we're here to do. Yes. So Thank you very much for chiming in, Sandra. I see we have quite a few new to the Let's Build community. We welcome you all. Of course, we all are experiencing this path, this healing path at our own rate and speed. You have not missed anything. All are experiencing expansion in their own way, where never is your ascension path dependent on tuning into these communications. If anything, it is beautiful to connect and share such a connection with you as to relaying the nature of this divine experience sonically, having a somewhat of a form of confirmation as to what you already know within yourself. However, as you expand in spiritual maturity, of course, you are not dependent on any type of confirmation or validation, and having the confidence to trust yourself and that which you are here to experience, which is your own creation. Thank you so very much for being here. Tomorrow at actually at 10 p.m. this time tomorrow night, I will be doing a short interview with Mother Love. Let me see, where's the link? I need to find the link before I say something out of loud. Hold on one second. Once again, thank you so very much, Mel, for sharing our videos on the Galactic Free Press forum site. You Heal and the Let's Build group. Really appreciate your support in creating our flyer today. Hello, Stephanie. Still intend to connect with you on your open forum there in Philadelphia. Thank you so very much for the invite, of course. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am entertaining any inquiries that you do have in our comment section right now. I saw some questions before. However, I'm having some trouble accessing the earlier messages or earlier comments during our broadcast here, so I can't necessarily get to some of your early inquiries. So if you will, you're still tuned in, please repost your comments and I will get to them. Anyway, the gist of the other story is we will be broadcasting live on another channel, another platform to express the nature of the Galactic Federation of Light from a outpost there in Atlanta, who's asked us to chime in on an interview. I want to say that's the 19th of January. However, our initial short interview will take place tomorrow at 10. After our broadcast today, I will post that here for all to embrace if you're open. Let's see. One moment, please. I'll see if I can't get to some of our earlier comments. Yeah, I may have misstated that, Mel. You're correct. I'm not sure if it's the 16th or the 19th. I don't have the information in front of me, so I may have misstated that, Mel. You're correct. I'm not sure if it's the 16th or the 19th. I don't have it. So we do have an inquiry from Melody. Thank you so very much for being here, Melody. So my visions were real. I know it. Do they still pertain to now? Melody, this depends on your preference. What is your preference as far as your experience? Of course, the now is always now, and it's based on our frequency of being. Of course, our intention, our focus as awakened souls is in cultivating that which is within our intention, our preference, our preferred experience, the visions that you had or that you may still cultivate within the mind construct. If they're within your preferred reality of your preference, then of course it is an aspect of this now moment. However, it is always a choice in this now based on your frequency of being. So I'm not sure the direct nature of your inquiry, being that, of course, now is brand new. And I'm going to assume that you refer to past thought patterns or visions that you have had. However, of course, it is a conscious choice of your own as to if you will continue to provide energy to these visions or not. So, Silva, as a multidimensional in an incarnation, there is a particular dimensional frequency that I exist upon which has no label. However, it is also necessary to state that as a multidimensional, I exist on many different dimensions at the same time, and many different beings or many different incarnations at the same time, all simultaneously, where there is no definite dimensional frequency that I remain upon. The density of origin has a deep span from the 11th and higher as far as density is concerned. However, in recognizing the nature of this presence in being multidimensional and incarnate of Commander Ashtar, the collective consciousness Ra, and of course the archangelic representation of Archangel Michael as a group consciousness, we expand and exist on many dimensions in service, where our existence here remains as an agreement, as an aspect of our mission, and this incarnate being a representation of who we are as a collective. So the dimensional framework of this being is rather broad. However, I am here with you now, and it is a pleasure to be here. The timelines, Pam, thank you for chiming in, Pamela. I appreciate the fortune cookies from the party. The timeline, peeking at the timeline visuals. Of course, we do this aboard our motherships in sensing or having the ability to view the trajectory of humanity as a whole, or awaken humanity as a whole, as well as unawakened humanity as a whole. As far as its trajectory, we have ability to view this, where a lot of our guidance is in alignment with the trajectories that we see as we gauge this collective energetically. We have the ability to do that. However, of course, you do too, as source. Those of you that are familiar with deja vus recognize that often more often than not, especially since the frequencies are evolving to such tremendous levels. And as you evolve in frequency, of course, let me say this. There will be those who feel that you are a spirit in a body. However, the exact opposite is actually true. Your body is in your spirit. Your body is but an expression of the broad nature of your energy field, which is your spirit, which is the truth of yourself, the foundation of your being. The body is but a tool which the spirit is using to experience life in this particular dimension. With that being said, those of you who experience deja vus are starting to recognize the fluid nature of your reality. As the density, as your frequency becomes higher, the distance in which the molecules of this electromagnetic reality, the density of the molecules and being close, they begin to spread out, where your physical existence is becoming more spirit-like. And what this means is that your reality is becoming more and more flexible. And as it becomes more and more flexible, the veil that remains between your conscious, subconscious framework becomes more and more pierced, if you will, and seeing on the other side of that veil. And this is somewhat of a small explanation as to the nature of the deja vu experience, the dream state in which you see on different aspects of the experience or into timelines that may not have occurred as of yet. You're seeing into different realities as your frequency rises and the frequency of the planet rises. So your ability to view and see into realities on a particular timeline are increasing as the frequencies increase. So these happenings are happening much more frequent and much more rapidly as you increase in frequency. And this is quite natural in recognizing the light and somewhat flimsy nature of the illusion. So it's continuously happening. Corrine, yes, of course, the blue lights, the peripheral lights or circles, if you will, within the eyes as you become more and more present represents who we are, the angelic guardians with you throughout your path. We appear as orbs to the physical eyes as you increase in frequency and indicating our presence with you. And this happens quite often for those of you who are aware. So, Stefan, okay, can you be in love all the time? This is my desire for you, me, and all life. I know that the Arcturians are in love with all of us. Peace. Love is the fabric of existence, Stefan. This is love, as far as the experience of joy and happiness and excitement and enthusiasm for life itself. I feel that you are attempting to describe this frequency of being. Yes, this is a future reality for those of you that are healing. There are existences and species who have their foundation in unconditional love that experience nothing but these frequencies and being a conscious choice of existence. So this is, of course, very well possible, and of course, the destiny of humanity as a species and moving deeper and deeper into unity consciousness. Telepathy. Thank you, Teresa, for chiming in. As far as the nature of telepathy, a little bit more specific as far as what you'd like for us to expand upon when it comes to telepathy, the communication that takes place on an intuitive level, on an energetic level. This is natural and constant amongst beings of highly vibrant energy fields and open hearts. We communicate in such a nature. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we do have about a good 10 more minutes in our live broadcast. If you do have any inquiries, we are available to speak to those in our comment section. Thank you once again for joining us. I do recall one inquiry while our seminar was taking place. I cannot quote verbatim, however, it was to the effect of knowing, how do I know, or how do we know this information? There is an open-hearted intent to embrace these transmissions and what's being communicated. However, there is an inquiry of how do we know that which we know? And this is about the mind's analysis in attempting to be secure. The mind wants to be secure because it is basically it's operating as a protective mechanism to deception, and this is quite understandable. It is only a knowing where this knowing remains within the heart space that we all share through your own experience, through your own evolution, through a trust of oneself. You will recognize that there are no mistakes, and you hearing the words that are being expressed right now are in divine alignment with that which you created for yourself. Deception you can feel. You can feel it instantaneously. There is an intent to embrace the information, but there's also the mind's fear that wants to ensure that deception is not present. However, let's suggest this and say this. The protection from an experience or the protection from a distortion is the foundation of the distortion itself. In other words, Me attempting to protect myself from what I fear is responsible for the manifestation of what I fear, because I'm giving energy to that which I do not prefer as a creator. Attempting to protect yourself from being lied to is to exist more and more in a reality of lies, because I give so much energy to deception itself. This is the nature of my experience. That is to say, there's nothing to believe here. There's nothing to sell here. This is about you. I'm not here to lead or tell anyone what to do with their free will. There's a transformation taking place on the planet amongst all souls. There's a deep yearning, a calling, a fire within many of you that are naturally attracted to certain information that resonates. It is always a free will choice to embrace the information or not. However, as a guide, I'm not saying anything that you don't already know within yourself. This is only a manifestation or expression, an articulation of the information that is already within the heart space. However, it is your conscious choice to embrace that which is being expressed. Of course, there is only love in being the fabric of existence, and the truth. And the truth is peace. This is the only vibrational frequency that is eternal. Peace. Once again, in peace, there's clarity. With clarity, there's a realization of what is and what is not. So and not even an answer, this is my suggestion to that question, is to embrace the peace within yourself and be open to what life is expressing to you. Life is infinitely intelligent, and this is all your design. This is all a movie reel that you are experiencing, that you created for yourself. Thank you, Valerie. I was attempting to recall your name. I informed our platform of our interview tomorrow at around this time, Central European time. I want to say 1 p.m. in, not sure if you're in LA or Atlanta. However, around this time is the time and place of our communication. So thank you so very much for allowing us to communicate with you and your platform and expressing the nature of our divine fleet and what we are here to experience and share with the human species. Always within. Yes, Stephanie. Thank you, Derek. Yes, of course, the physical symptoms will continue throughout your body as the transformations continue. There are many factors that come along with this experience that sometimes are necessary for us to readdress and continue to express and taking place continuously. The physical symptoms happening within the body are constant. Yes, the transformation of the body from the carbon-based cellular structure to the crystalline-based cellular structure is constant. This is constantly taking place and happening in this now moment, as well as the transformation of the chakra system, the energy centers within your being, moving from the 7 to 13 formation or configuration. Of course, the light frequencies from the central galactic sun are continuously being amped up in this now moment, transforming many of you. The position of planet Earth right now is well into the photonic belt, coming from the center of Eon, where the transformations are taking place within your physical vessels. It's necessary to recognize the continuous attempts by your mainstream media outlets and those in places of influence throughout your surface in attempting to gather your attention, where in actuality, there's a deep spiritual transformation taking place, a manifestation of your, or a step up of your manifestation abilities, all manifesting in this now moment. However, these unfoldments can be invested in that which you are here to unfold, your evolution, or they can continually be invested in the dramas, the outer dramas of the illusion. The choice is yours. However, you recognize the distractions to be there. And in peace, the clarity of peace, you have the opportunity to express the wisdom of recognizing these distractions and knowing that there is a paramount metamorphosis, unfoldment, blossoming, transformation taking place within you right now. The paradox of being so subtle, but at the same time, simultaneously being so paramount, so monumental to your presence. It is all there. Life is infinitely intelligent and the transformation continues. It is your choice to be aware and embrace. Yes, Teresa, it's very difficult, very, very difficult. However, if it wasn't difficult, everybody would do it. Planet Earth has been labeled amongst the stars as somewhat of a master's program, a master class, if you will. The amount of limitations that exist here on this planet amongst the species are vast in nature, unlike any seen in this sector of the galaxy. However, you, in being here, are strong enough to experience and move through such frequencies of being and evolve into the galactic human form, which is your destiny, where the Christed race here on planet Earth have a sacred mission. And this mission includes being of service to many, many, many countless species throughout this universe. To be frank, the human species itself is a culmination of many, many extraterrestrial species, where you recognize that your existence has a deep impact on this universe itself. Your awakened existence has a deep impact on this universe itself. And here's where the abundance of ET species amongst our galactic fleet, council, the angels, archangels, angelic realms of the ascended masters are here in abundance to assist you in this process. So we are We have reached our time. And if there are no more inquiries, we will exit this platform of connection. Thank you so very much for joining us all. We appreciate your time and attention. Focus your healing energies, your communications gently. An expression of unity consciousness, this is. Always more grace, more love, more compassion, forgiveness for yourself, which can be expressed amongst others. We bid you adieu from who we are of universal brothers and sisters, who we are of the angelic realms of the Galactic Council, of the Galactic Federation of Light, who I am as your Commander Ashtar. Thank you so very much. We love you and honor your presence here on the surface of planet Earth. We bid you adieu. Thank you.